Ooh la la! It's happened, friends. Noni Madueke to Arsenal for 52 million quid, over 50 million pounds. We've had the here we go from Fabrizio Romano in the dead of the night. Your boy was sleeping, I woke up to the news. Of course, this was shortly after the Telegraph, and indeed other publications reporting on the No to Madueke campaign, the petition that thousands of Arsenal fans had signed to try and prevent Arsenal from signing Noni Madueke, which seems a little bit silly, but we can get into that. But yes, he's going to Arsenal, over 50 million quid to add to the Chelsea coffers. Of course, Chelsea have made 80 plus million pounds from the Club World Cup, which pretty much paid for Joao Pedro and Liam Delap so far, and we could be getting essentially the Jamie Gittins money from the sale of Noni Madueke. Wow, lots to get into and react to, so strap yourselves in, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into it today here on Football Therapy. Thanks for joining me, mate. Very pleased to have you here. Everyone's welcome, of course, so if you're yet to subscribe, why don't you hit the sub button, the bell, and all that nice stuff, and like the video. Alright. So yes, this is a move that we've all kind of thought at this point it was going to happen. We know Noni is interested in the move to Arsenal, and I think probably for a while he's been unsettled at Chelsea, just us constantly signing new wingers. He's obviously at Chelsea, got huge competition. He knows he's very much number 2 behind first choice right winger Pedro Neto, who's been in scintillating form at the end of the campaign and indeed in the Club World Cup. He's probably been our player of the Club World Cup. He's a couple years older than Madueke. How old is Madueke? 23? Yeah, he's 23, Noni. And I think Neto's 25. So he's just a little bit older than him, and of course he's literally on the money, 2 years older than him. So he's got that sort of pathway blocked. And in terms of young, prodigious talent, you've got Stevao coming in as well, who looks absolutely mustard. And other players who can play on the right, like Tariq George, and of course even Cole Palmer playing as a right winger under Pochettino at times. He's never really wanted the competition, Noni Madueke. He's a good player, but he's had problems at Chelsea. He's had attitude problems. Of course, we remember the penalty situation when he was fighting on the pitch with Nicholas Jackson. He's often, presented himself as a bit of a strop. He doesn't like getting subbed, which I always kind of try to say, well, he's young. He'll hopefully lose that in his game and yada, yada, yada. And, of course, he's been dropped before by Maresca. He's always presented it as technical problems, but reports have suggested there is a little bit of an attitude problem there. Now, he is a good player. He's got self-belief. But Arsenal fans, a lot of them don't want him. We'll get into that 1 second. First of all, Arsenal have got priorities. They need a first choice starting left winger, not a Bukayo Saka backup right winger who can play on the left like Noni Madueke is, like what he represents. They need someone of the caliber of Saka to play on the left. They do not have that. And to be spending 52, 53 million pounds on Noni Madueke, a player that they don't really need, and most of all, another Chelsea player that they see Chelsea fans are happy to let go. That is infuriating a lot of Arsenal fans, and you can kind of understand it. Now, look, the petition, the thousands of Arsenal fans that signed the petition no to Madueke, I think it's a little bit silly, isn't it? And of course, it's a fraction of the fan base. And I say that, but a lot of Chelsea fans who didn't want Madueke wouldn't sign a petition. It's, football fans, it's not something that you see often unless it's literally, like something like maybe, I reckon more football Arsenal fans signed petitions and did movements to get Thomas Partey out of the club before, while he was trying to be extended. This kind of thing is a young, talented player, but I get it. I get the optics. He's yet another Chelsea player in recent years that follows Petr Cech, David Luiz, Willian, Havertz, Jorginho, Raheem Sterling, Kepa Arrizabalaga, and now Noni Madueke. You know, it's been talked about as a good relationship. And Chelsea, you know, they do a lot of business together. I saw a Turkish the content creator on DR Sports on a short somewhere say, look, we shouldn't have a good relationship with Chelsea. What is this? I don't care. Screw Chelsea. We shouldn't have this relationship. It's just them sending us players. Last night, David Ornstein wrote this on The Athletic. By the way, we've had the here we go. It's happening. He's gone to Arsenal. Arsenal reached a full agreement with Chelsea over a deal expected to be worth £52 million. Remember, we signed him for £29 million, so this is a £23 million profit on a player who isn't the starter for Chelsea. Pretty incredible, really. And again, I really must stress that I would feel uncomfortable about this if Bukayo Saka was a left winger and you're getting Noni on the right, but because he is a good right winger, you know, he's not amazing. He's not very, very productive, but he's good. The 23-year-old has already agreed personal terms with Arsenal over a 5-year deal. He's prioritised over any other option. This is really interesting. Noni has prioritised Arsenal. Not that he's prioritised Arsenal, but how he's prioritised anyone. What does that tell you? That he's just trying to get out, or Chelsea have quietly put him up for sale? Madueke is still in the United States, with Chelsea, of course, are preparing to play Paris Saint-Germain on the final on Sunday, which I will do a preview of. Keep it locked for that. But talks between the clubs are now in the final stages. On July 7th, Arsenal made contact with Chelsea over a deal for Madueke. He's made 46 appearances across all competitions for Chelsea in this campaign, I guess including the Club World Cup. Yeah, 5 times in the Club World Cup. And featured as 32 of 38 Premier League games. So he did, even if he didn't start, he did feature in most of the games. Chelsea head coach Maresca twice omitted from the matchday squad in the Premier League last season, citing the England's internationals' performance in training. So he has been called out before, not just for attitude, but training. And then, of course, later in the month, he left him out for a technical decision. Yeah. Madueke, who's represented Tottenham Hotspur, Crystal Palace, and spent 5 years, of course, at PSV Eindhoven before joining Chelsea in January 2023. He scored 20 goals in 92 Chelsea appearances, which isn't great, but let's be fair to should we be fair? Let's be fair to Noni Madueke. So 2092. So 92 divided by 20. That's a goal every 4.6 games. Which isn't great, but it's not bad. And considering it was in that turbulent time of Graham Potter, he's a young player. At Arsenal, he might change that to 1 every 3.5, which is a sort of good return for a winger. Do you know what I mean? He does score goals. He does look threatening. He's an England international. I'm not going to be one of these guys who say, "Oh, he's terrible," lol, 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 lol. But it's good business, you know. He scored 7 Premier League goals last season. Got 3 assists. So that's double digits for goal involvements. 10 goal involvements in 2,050 minutes. So. What was that? 200. Yeah, that's 205 minutes, isn't it? Man, my maths is bad. Let's just do this like that. So yeah, it's a goal involvement every 205 minutes. It's not good, but it's not bad, you know. And he can look good. He's not good at crossing. He's very good at dribbling. He's got a goal in him, and his application sometimes and his attitude. But you have to say, so let's just do the both perspectives first, and then I'll tell you how I feel. From a Chelsea perspective, they probably would have kept him, but the fact how they've got this fine coming up with UEFA, and the fact how they probably were looking to buy another specialist winger for the left-hand side, because you got your Netos, you got your Stevals, you got your probably Tyreek that can cover on the right. You've really only got Jamie Gittins on the left. That's it. Again, Ty can cover both sides, but you really are left light. And then by selling Noni, not only are you putting yourself in a stronger financial position, making a big profit with Arsenal, you can maybe go and get that second left winger. Now, if Chelsea go and buy like a Rodrigo, which we won't because of the money involved for like wages and stuff, then Arsenal fans' heads will explode because they too need a left winger. So, Chelsea perspective, money made, probably good business. You can understand it all in. I'm not going to be one of these Chelsea fans that are dancing in the streets, celebrating, laughing at Arsenal. I think it's a good move for Chelsea. I think you are strengthening a rival. I feel okay with it purely because you're not strengthening a rival to the extent of they're desperate for this player. Which moves me to the Arsenal perspective, man, because they need to get the Gyökeres deal over the line, the striker. They need a starting level left winger, you know? And they're spending over 50 million quid on Noni Madueke. And it's not just the money. It's the order, like they say. Like, if this was done at the end, if they signed a Neze, if they signed a Gyökeres already, and they got Noni over the line, they'd be like, cool, whatever, Arsenal fans. But because they've done it first, because they've prioritised this, because they've been like, oh, let's get Noni Madueke over the line, the Chelsea player. That's what's seemingly upsetting and annoying the Arsenal fans. But I'm not going to be one of these Chelsea content creators like, we sold you an absolute dud. I mean, if I was an Arsenal fan, and I was like, right, we're going to sign Noni Madueke. Really good cover for Bukayo Saka. Like, you know, the quality drop-off isn't such a gargantuan drop. I know they talked about Ethan Nwaneri, but he's out of position. With Noni, you get a touchline winger that Arteta can be like, yeah, play like Saka. So, and you say, right, Chelsea, he's a bit out of favour of Chelsea. He's not first choice. Well, you know Chelsea's not going to make a loss on him. So they were like, well, they sent him to sign him for 29 million. Let's give them 30 million. So obviously it's 1 million profit, but it's book profit for them in the accounting. So everyone's happy, 30 million, maybe 35 million. The fact that it's 52 million is why I think Arsenal fans are getting a little bit ragey here. He's a good player. He's an England international. He'll hope he remains that. They'll get plenty of time at Arsenal, that Arsenal become better, that he'll be hoping that even if he's playing on the left, he'll be linking up with Gyökeres and Bukayo Saka and everything goes well. We'll have to see. I mean, that means it worked out for Arsenal, but it will still work out for Chelsea and sort of everyone wins. At the moment, Chelsea wins. Does Noni Madueke win? Does Arsenal win? That's the question. But I think this whole petition thing and silly stuff is just a bit of a nonsense, really. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, daily content here, probably multiple videos and some days like today. Please do like the video, subscribe, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.